Good morning, Malacanang Press Corps. Welcome sa Mindanao Hour, led by Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella.
Good morning. Welcome to Mindanao Hour and also Bangon Marawi. For today, we'd like to read a statement from regarding Task Force Bangon Marawi. Commissioner Toby will not be with us. He is indisposed. Task Force Bangon Marawi supports the call of the ulamas and all local chief executives of Lanao del Sur to condemn violent extremism. This was done in the recent Regional Ulama Conference and signing of fatwa held in Iligan City on the 16th of August 2017. This supports the declaration of war against the ISIS-inspired multi-terror group of all 41 mayors in Lanao del Sur through a manifesto signed on the 12th of August 2017. The 40 towns and one city of the province shall strengthen the civilian security plan of barangays, mobilizing religious leaders with the said declaration. The Task Force Bangon Marawi Operations Center was established at the National Emergency Operations Center with the recent transition from response to early recovery. The Office of Civil Defense manages the Operations Center manned by ground officers assigned from the 9 subcommittees and support groups of the task force. This would ensure direct linkage between relevant agencies and communities in relation to the rehabilitation and recovery efforts of the affected population in Marawi City and other localities. Consultation with various sectors and communities is ongoing to give utmost consideration of the prevailing conditions, culture, and belief systems of our brothers and sisters. We assure the affected population and sectors that their needs shall be addressed in keeping with the fundamental principle of civil defense and disaster management on inclusivity, engaging the whole of Filipino society. But the operative word here is the fatwa. Also today, the 18th of August, day 88 of the rebellion in Marawi, as of last night, 7 p.m., enemies killed 573 or plus 4, civilians killed, no change, firearms recovered 635 or plus 5, civilians rescued, no change, 1,728. Buildings cleared as of 17th of August, 32. Yesterday, 12. Improvised explosive devices, IEDs, 8. Unexploded ordnance recovered 16. Killed in action, 128. Yesterday, for Marawi casualties, there are now 10,671,703.23 centavos. Disbursements, 68 million for Philippine Army killed in action beneficiaries and 22 million for PN, PMC, KIA beneficiaries. For Marawi IDPs, there's 938, 695.21. We now defer to General Padilla.
Thank you very much, sir. May I discuss 3 items with you this morning? And these are all very good news, with a little bit on the sad side later on. And I will be concentrating on 3 roads that we're working on. This is the road to normalcy, the road to peace, and the road to victory and liberation of the city. On the first aspect, the positive developments on the road to normalcy. One was already mentioned by Secretary Abella a while ago, which is about the support of our LGUs, which I'll just discuss later on just the same. But the first one is the initial news about the 22nd of August 2017 opening of MSU. Jointly working with the LGU and the MSU community, the AFP and the Philippine National Police are now busy helping prepare the whole campus and its environs, as well as residents around the area, for the return back to normal of MSU, and we will be facilitating and providing transportation for 800 Balik Eskwela students of MSU from the current areas they are now in Iligan and vicinity, back to MSU itself. Also, among the most significant landmarks in Marawi, the Amay Pakpak Hospital, built in the early century, continues to operate normally, serving all its constituents and some of our soldiers, even at the heat of the battle. And we will continue to assist Amay Pakpak and the DOH for whatever requirements they still have. We would like to hail the heroes of Amay Pakpak Hospital for the sacrifices that they are also doing on behalf of all the residents of Marawi and our soldiers who also come to their hospital for treatment. May we also pass on our acknowledgement and gratitude to Secretary Obial and the DOH team of the province and the national level for the provision and facilitation of more than 17,000 vaccines for flu and pneumonia that were provided for our soldiers who are engaged in the main battle area and those supporting them. The amount is worth more than 100 million, we were informed, and we are very grateful because it has increased the resiliency and ability to fight infection of our soldiers who are in the battlefield. May I also happily convey that areas around Lanao Lake and other nearby municipalities that are far from the main battle area are slowly getting back to normal. Together with the LGU, the AFP, and the Philippine National Police are hand in hand in working to expedite this and working to provide additional assistance for the returning residents in all these areas. On the second aspect of our positive steps on the road to peace, as was discussed earlier, there were 41 mayors from various LGUs who have signed a manifesto declaring war against the local terrorists and condemning the Daesh-inspired rebel Maute group for their violent extremist activities. The declaration of support by all the religious leaders of Marawi and Lanao province for the two fatwas that were issued is also most welcome, because these two fatwas from the MILF and the ARMM Grand Mufti and the Darul Ifta are very critical ingredients in our program to fight and prevent the spread of violent extremism and radicalism. There is also a call out from the Western Mindanao Command under Lieutenant General Charlie Galvez in tandem with all the ulamas and other religious leaders for the convening of the National Ulama Council to address the recruitment of the vulnerable sectors, especially the youth and the orphans, by these rebel groups. The ulamas are also volunteering to take an active participation in the social healing and rehabilitation of Marawi. The Commander, Western Mindanao Command, General Galvez, is also regularly meeting with all LGUs and other local executives, as well as the leadership of the Sultanate of Marawi, to draw up plans for the security of the city and the province against radicalism and violent extremism to facilitate its immediate return to normalcy. These are also programs and efforts that we are doing along with all these sectors to inoculate our communities against the spread of radicalism and violent extremism. On the third aspect, our current updates on the military operations, our road to victory and the liberation of the city, I am happy to inform you that military operations in the area is progressing very well. The area of the main battle area has been reduced to just over half a kilometer grid square. Previously, we have been talking about slightly over a kilometer grid square and then a kilometer grid square. Now it's slightly over half a kilometer grid square. So the world of the enemy is getting smaller. The recent validation by our ground commanders also disclosed that we still face about 50 to 60 armed fighters, contrary to previous announcements and assessments that we said they were less than this. But in the recent assessment, by Western Mindanao Command, Lieutenant General Galvez has informed us that their best estimate is that the enemy remains at about 50 to 60, and hostages are believed to be still at 30 plus. The main battle area remains complex with the continued discovery of many IEDs and unexploded ordnance. And this is a part of the continuing challenges that we are facing and continuing to address. But operations, as I have mentioned, are progressing very well. And noting that we have had no one killed in action for the last 8 days. Unfortunately, wounded are still suffered, and we just had 2 soldiers who lost their legs because of tripping into IEDs that were left in a building that they were clearing. That is the sad note of what I have for you this morning. On a final note, we'd like to pass on our acknowledgements and thanks to the local government, from the Governor Adyong and his Vice Governor, Vice Governor Bombit Adyong, to the city executives led by City Mayor Mahul Usman Gandamra and the local crisis committee led by Sia Alonto Adyong for their ardent support and cooperation to our military authorities in the area and our common aspiration of bringing Marawi back to normal in the soonest possible time. And that is all from my end, and thank you.
Okay, MPC, from Bangon Marawi questions. First, Joseph. Bangon Marawi?
Sir, good morning po. Sir, would you have a copy of the fatwa?
Right now, I don't have it. There are 2 fatwas that have already been issued. One was from the MILF, and one that I mentioned is from the ARMM Grand Mufti in the Rulifta. So these are significant developments, and hopefully this will snowball once the National Ulama Council is convened into, it's still a call-out. So hindi pa namin alam kung mag-convene. But we are really encouraging the convening based on the recommendations of the Commander, Western Mindanao Command, General Galvez, and the ulamas in the area.
What will it bring, sir? And to maybe in a long-term way, no? I mean, in terms of...
From our end, itong role ng ating mga religious leaders at yung pag-convene ng mga grupo ng mga ulama ay napakahalaga upang mailagay sa tamang konteksto ang ginagawa nitong mga rebelde na nasa loob ng Marawi. Dahil ang kanila pong ginagawa ay iniiba po nila ang salaysay at ang ibig sabihin at kahulugan ng pagiging isang Muslim na hindi tama. Dahil ang tunay na diwa ng pagiging Muslim at ng Islam ay kapayapaan. At hindi yun po ang kanilang binibigay na salaysay. At ang ating mga ulama, dahil nauunawaan po ito, ang pagsasagawa po nila ng fatwa ay isang mahalagang hakbang sa pagpapaliwanag at pagtatama ng mga kasinungalingang nanggagaling po sa mga rebelde.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Hannah Sancho?
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, panawagan po ng mga Muslim scholars na itigil po yung airstrike sa Marawi City dahil nasisira pa po yung damage to properties and lives po yung sinasabi nilang dahilan. At since sinabi nyo na paliit na po yung mundo ng mga militante, is there a need pa po na ipagpatuloy po yung airstrike?
Kami po ay patuloy na humihingi ng kanilang unawa sa ating ginagawang operasyon. Lahat po tayo nais nating matapos ito. Pero ang pagsasagawa po ng pagbobomba o ng airstrike sa ilang mga lugar dyan ay kinakailangan pa po. Tulad nga ng aking nabanggit, nariyan pa po ang 50 hanggang 60 na mga kalaban na patuloy na nagiging balakid sa pagbabalik sa normal ng Marawi City. Kinakailangan po namin gawin ito upang maiwasan po ang pagbubuwis ng buhay ng hindi lang po ng sundalo, kundi ng sino man po na maaaring naiiwan pa sa loob. Dahil ang atin pong hangarin ay ma-rescue pa rin ang mga patuloy nilang hinahawakang bihag. At nais naman po naming ibigay ang aming assurance sa lahat ng ating mga residente sa Marawi na hindi po natin iiwanan kayo dahil tutulungan pa rin namin kayo sa pagbabalik sa normal at sa pagsasagawa po ng rehabilitasyon, ng rebuilding at saka ng reconstruction ng buong Marawi. And this is a promise that we support, the promise of the President to make Marawi better.
Sir, may isa pang hiling, Secretary Isaac Abella, para po sa inyo. May isa pa pong hiling yung mga ulama. Sinasabi po nila, yung appeal nila kay Pangulong Duterte na mag-appoint po ng Muslim Justice sa Supreme Court po.
If you're asking whether meron may response na ba, as
Yes,
of this
sir.
moment, wala pa. We don't have
Is
any.
the President open po kaya na mag-appoint po ng Muslim Justice sa Supreme Court?
If the right person is available, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Hannah. Raymond Tinasa, to be followed by JP Bencito.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. General Padilla, sir. Sir,
Yes.
just to confirm, yung remaining battleground, nandun kasama yung malaking mosque sa Marawi.
Hindi ko po batid kung yung isang mosque ay naroon pa. Pero noong mga nakarang araw, yes, ginagamit po nila ang mosque na safe haven.
So, it could be considered na this would be the last stronghold na ginagamit ng mga OT, considering the sensitivities of the mosque.
Maaari po. Pero may iba tayong pamamaraan para ma-flush out sila sa mga lugar na yan na hindi po sisirain yung lugar.
Sir, during the last meeting of the President with the concerned agencies sa Bangon Marawi, sinabi ng NHA na they will start putting up temporary shelters already by September. So could it be safe to assume na by September, clear na yung Marawi?
In fact, yung temporary shelters po ay nagsisimula ng gawin. Inaantay lang yung approval ng NHA at maaari as we speak, the approval may have been there. But we have started working with DPWH to prepare the grounds of the relocation area. Kaya nga noong mga nakaraang linggo, ang naging buod po ng report ng ating Task Force Bangon Marawi ay yung early recovery phase, which is, and that part of that is the preparation, the ground preparation of the relocation area. So once NHA has given its approval for the type of temporary shelter, yun po ang gagawin sa mga lugar na yon.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, JP Bencito.
Hi, General Padilla. Good
Yes,
morning.
Jeffrey.
Sir, may we confirm, nakatanggap na po ba tayo ng reports na yung mga ulamas that signed the fatwa, they were being threatened, harassed by the Maute group? May ganitong report na ba tayo natanggap?
Wala naman. But we heard this is expected because the rebels are, of course, going to work their way to getting the support of others. And you know their style. Kung hindi nila makuha sa maayos na pakiusapan, dadaanin nila sa padaos-daos na mga violenteng pamamaraan.
Sir, may report po yung kasama natin sa Marawi, si Kuya Benji ng DZWB. Sabi, may letter daw po yung mga terorista. If you sign the manifesto, you will be considered a munafik or hypocrite. Sir, anong gagawin nating intervention?
It is not for the Maute rebels to decide because they're not religious leaders. The religious leaders are the last voice when it is a matter about their religion, about Islam. Kaya po ang mga ulama ang may roong otoridad upang sagutin yan at hindi yung mga rebelde na nasa loob dahil wala silang karapatan dahil hindi po sila religious leaders. Kaya hindi po dapat paniwalaan yan.
Pero sir, anong ginagawa ng militar para protektahan tong mga nakatanggap ng threats?
Kaya nga pa kami ay mariing nakikipag-ugnayan sa local government at naghahanda para sa pagsasagawa ng security measures sa buong Marawi at buong Lanao province. And that was part of my report on the aspect of our road to peace and security.
Okay, last question, Pia Gutierrez, regarding Bangon, Marawi.
Good morning, sir. Confirm ko lang po, MSU will open on August 22.
Yes, the opening will be on the 22nd of August. And once the 800 Balik Eskwela students are ready, we will help facilitate by providing transportation to bring them to the campus.
So, kailan po kaya magre-resume yung classes, sir, following the opening of MSU?
Siguro soon after their arrival there, because even prior to this or right now, habang naglilinis doon at nagsasagawa ng mga pag-aayos, yung mga miyembro po ng administration ng MSU community ay naghahanda na rin.
I'm just curious, sir, how far is MSU from the main battle area? And how can we ensure the safety of the students? Ngayon pong sinabi nyo na airstrikes are still necessary in Marawi City.
Yes, the MSU compound per se is a number of kilometers away from the main battle area, kaya relatively safe. The threats to the MSU area before were coming from stray bullets dahil malapitan pa yung labanan. So ngayon, nakakasigurado tayo na wala nang maaaring mangyaring ganun, kaya tayo nagbigay daan sa pagbabalik ng mga estudyante. Pero nariyan pa rin po yung mga tropa natin, hindi po sila aalis. We will provide continuing security coverage until such time that we can assure that the main battle area is free of any rebel forces.
Sir, last na lang po. Now that the AFP and the LGU are allowing the students to go back to MSU, is it safe to assume that civilians also can go back to their homes?
Hindi po. Ginagawa po natin is phased approach, no? Yung MSU community kasi ay medyo malayo sa bakbakan. At maaari na nating i-guarantee yung safety nila dahil may mga puwersa din tayo nakatalaga dyan. So for other areas that I have mentioned a while ago, yung mga munisipyo sa paligid ng lake, about 3 kilometers out of the city, karamihan po dyan ay nagsisibalik na sa normal. At ang ibang lugar na malalayo rin sa main battle area, ganun din po ang nangyayari. So we're slowly opening the road to normalcy for many of the communities that are far from the main battle area as we work to really solve the presence of the armed elements, the remnants of the Mauti groups inside.
So, sir, for civilians who live far from the battle area, pwede ba silang makabalik na sa kanilang mga bahay?
Pwede na po. They can already go back. And we have encouraged those to have their residences still in affected or conflict areas na pwede namang makitira dun sa mga kamag-anak nila sa mga lugar na ito kung ayaw na nila sa mga evacuation centers.
For clarity, sir, how do we define yung areas kung saan pwede nang bumalik yung mga civilians?
We have provided the local government a list of the municipalities that were cleared for return. Yung listahan na yan, alam po ng karamihan sa Lanao, saka sa Marawi. So, pati pa yung mga local government executives na pinuno ng mga lugar na yan, na-meet na rin po ng ating Joint Task Force Marawi at sa kanila General Galvez. Kaya bago pa inanunsyo yung announcement na ito, handa na po yung local governments kasi nagkaroon sila ng preparation muna. So, para pagbabalik ng kanilang constituents, handa na sila.
Kailan po, sir, nabigay yung clearance?
Several weeks ago pa yan eh. About 3 weeks ago pa. So, Joint Task Group Ranao under General Ray was the one who was constantly in touch with the local executives and who discussed this with them and paved the way for the return.
Okay, thank you. Last
Thank you, sir.
question, Tuesday New.
Sir, follow-up lang. May figures po ba kayo kung ilan na po yung mga residente na nakabalik doon sa kanilang bahay, doon sa paligid?
Ng Lawa?
Opo, opo.
Unfortunately, Tuesday wala. Wala pa akong figures niyan. And the Joint Task Force Marawi is going to have a press briefing this afternoon. If you have reporters in the area, I think you have Benji there, paki-follow up sa kanila because the data will be coming from them.
Another one, sir. Paano po yung magiging sistema on transport ng mga estudyante from Iligan to MSU? Everyday po ba ihatid
Hindi.
sila, ibabalik sila?
Doon sila nakatira sa MSU.
Okay.
They are part
Parang
of the
dorm-
MSU
dorm.
community.
Okay.
Dorms.
So they are in a safe zone. So that is open for them to come back. They will get their community back again.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Other issue na tayo, Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella.
Right, from the OPS. On the Barcelona attack, our hearts and prayers go to the families and loved ones of the innocent victims who perished and those who got injured in Barcelona. We are one with the peace-loving people of the international community in condemning this latest attack in Spain on Thursday that left at least 13 people dead and injured more than 100 others. The DFA, through our Philippine Embassy in Madrid and honorary consulate in Barcelona, is closely monitoring the situation and has been in touch with authorities and leaders of the Filipino community. It has expressed the condolences of the to the Spanish government following the incident that left 4 Irish citizens of Filipino descent injured. Also, on the 29th Southeast Asian Games in Malaysia. Today, August 18, marks the formal opening of the 29th Southeast Asian Games to be held in Malaysia. We wish our athletes good luck. Incidentally, they have begun bringing honor to the country with 3 medals as of yesterday, a silver and 2 bronze medals. We congratulate the Philippine team for Sepak Takraw for winning the first silver medal from this season's Southeast Asian Games. We also extend our congratulations to our archers for the 2 bronze medals. On the Philippines hosting the 30th Southeast Asian Games, we're pleased to announce that the Philippines will be hosting the 30th Southeast Asian Games in 2019. We ask all concerned agencies to give their full support and cooperation in preparing the country's hosting of the biennial event. Together, let us show to the world our Filipino bayanihan spirit. Some media were asking regarding PRRD's meeting with the RAM. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte met with the members of the Reform of the Armed Forces Movement, RAM, last Wednesday, August 16, where they expressed support and offered help to the President. They likewise asked the President for amnesty so that they could receive their back pay and livelihood opportunities for the members of the RAM. Also regarding Secretary Judith Taguiwalo, the President has repeatedly given full trust and support for Secretary Taguiwalo, even when she sided with leftist groups opposing the President's positions. In the end, however, the law requires that we abide by decisions of the Commission on Appointments on Presidential Nominations. We wish Secretary Taguiwalo all the best in her future endeavors. She knows she will always have the President's gratitude and friendship for the time, albeit brief, that they spent together in the service of our people. We're open to a few questions.
Tuesday New.
Secretary, good morning po. Sir, ano ang nagtulak sa ating gobyerno na magbago ang isip doon sa hosting natin ng SEA Games on the 2019?
Ano po yung kung
Yung SEA
babaguhin
Games,
ba?
sir. Opo. Yung change of heart, kasi in-announce na po na hindi na tayo mag-host. Ngayon po ay mag-host tayo.
Yung regarding the factors that determine the shift, we don't have the details regarding that. However, let us celebrate the fact that we are going to be hosting it.
Okay, Maricel, TV5.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, meron na po bang napipisil sa Presidente kung sino pwedeng pumalit kay Secretary Taguiwalo?
As of now po, wala pa. Walang dumarating sa akin na pangalan at hindi po natin alam.
How about OIC, sir?
We can confirm that later.
Okay. Sir, is there a chance na ma-reappoint si Secretary Taguiwalo sa ibang government agency after her rejection?
I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if it's a precedent for that. But I wouldn't be. I don't think it's entirely unthinkable.
Mhm. And sir, may sinasabi si Secretary Taguiwalo na there's a rampant corruption in government agencies, and I believe she already brought this up to the President. Ano na po yung actions na ginagawa ng Malacanang tungkol po dito?
Ma'am, regarding corruption, that is part of the President's all-government approach, and that is part of his campaign promise to truly address crime, corruption, and illegal drugs. Kasama po yan.
Sir, panghuli na lang po. How about the President's meeting with Nikki Prieto? Ano po yung napag-usapan nila?
I think there was a turnover on, mainly a donation.
Yes, sir.
How much was that? No,
Like 5 million.
Magkano?
5
Well, we
million.
don't know we can't.
So
But it was
binoculars?
mainly a turnover of a donation
Donation
for Marawi.
For
No?
Marawi affected children, advocacy niya yung area.
Alright. Ano, sir, yung,
Saka residents.
yung dinonate? May we have
It's a
details?
cash amount. It's a
Cash
check.
donation.
So this is different from the donation given naman by Robin Padilla.
Iba yun.
Ano ba yun?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Tina Mendez?
Sir, in relation to the replacement of Secretary Taguiwalo, si ASEC Mocauson conducted his poll survey,
Yes.
which turned out that VP Lenny Robredo getting 80% para bang votes. The second si Yusek Lauren Badoy, followed by Prieto Teodoro, si Mrs. Nikki Teodoro. How will the palace consider the polls survey of ASEC Moca?
I'm sure the president has other ways of measuring a candidate's capability aside from service. Thank you.
Does it mean it is not recognizing the polls?
It means that the president has a different set of categories.
Would the president, do you think would the president look into VP Lenny as a possible candidate for the SWD?
Perhaps there may be conditionalities that may not be too favorable regarding that, but I don't know. It all depends on the president.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Tina. Follow-up or follow-up? Other issues? Joseph Moro. Follow-up? Okay, follow-up.
So I'd like to pick up on your point. You said that as far as VP Robredo is concerned, there may be conditionalities not too favorable for her to be appointed
Well,
PSWD.
for the plain and simple reason that, for example, she has already resigned from the, she's, that particular job is a cabinet level job. And
But it's a different post.
it's a different post, yeah, I agree with that. But I think the main reason was there were other matters that they were. That's all. There were other
So
matters.
no
that-
for Lenny, no?
Come again?
No for Lenny at this
Oh, no, don't quote me on that. I mean, I'm not saying no for Lenny. I'm just saying that it seems it may be a difficult choice.
Okay.
Okay,
Sir, do you
follow-up?
think that Secretary, it may not be the pork issue that is maybe detrimental to her confirmation by the CA, but the fact that she may be left-leaning, meaning because the government is kind of shifting its strategy as far as the NDF, CPP, and PA is concerned, it may be best to keep her out of the cabinet than maybe retain her?
We cannot speculate regarding that matter, but certainly one reason why the cabinet is a rainbow-colored cabinet, including left-leaning secretaries, was precisely because of the agreement that we could be more cooperative. The left would be more cooperative regarding that matter. But that's one reason why they're part of this. But we cannot speculate on the reason why she was not finally appointed.
Sir, this is probably the third, no? Tama ba? Siyasay, and then and of course you would agree that the president has some sway over Congress.
But the president has said again and again that he will not interfere with the process.
But this is not a repudiation of his prerogative to appoint whoever he thinks is qualified for the position.
Well, he also respects the boundaries between
Okay,
the three branches of government.
Thank you, Joseph. Henry Uri? Other issue?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. Other
Yes, sir.
issues, sabi ni VP Lenny Robredo, yung nangyari hong sunod-sunod na pagpatay sa mga drug suspects sa Bulacan at saka sa Manila.
Opo.
Ang sabi ho niya, yung culture of impunity, matagal na nating sinikwal. And sabi niya, ito ay isang bagay na kailangan mag-express tayo ng outrage.
Opo.
Hindi naman tayo ganyan eh. Hindi tayo ito. Ano po ang reaksyon dito ng Palasyo ng Malacanang?
Unang-una po, we understand where the perspective of the president has been very clear from the very beginning. This is not a reckless exercise of bloodletting. there's a rhyme and a reason in the police operations. And, number one, it's lumang tugtugin, but let me repeat. The second leg of his three-leg campaign was really law and order. Number one, anti-crime, anti-corruption, and then anti-illegal drugs. Now, you've heard again and again, we have heard again and again, that the President is very concerned in destroying, actually, the drug apparatus. And the objective in going even after street-level drug pushers is to degrade the community-based retail distribution network that will always fuel the drug trade, whoever is on top. In other words, it's a question of addressing the demand and supply. That objective has never changed, and we reiterate that the President's warning to syndicates and their cohorts in government is give up and shape up before it's too late. In other words, what the President's concern is basically, this is a very focused effort. These are very, very focused. This is not to exonerate everything that happens, but to put the context in what the government is doing. Ina-address po talaga niya yung nangyayari sa on the ground mismo para mahinto po yung isang bagay na talaga nakakasira ng bayan. And I think we should appreciate that. And I believe that the massa, the common people in general, the average Filipino, and when I mean average, I mean yung whether ano yung political color niya, naintindihan nila kung ano ang dapat mangyari sa bayan. And again, we hear people say it's safer, they feel more comfortable, and in fact, they appreciate the fact that the Philippines is being made safe again.
You think it is still appropriate for a vice president to have that kind of statement?
Well, she's of course entitled to her own opinion, and she may voice out. But and I think that's precisely the reason why maybe in the next round of of political systems we should have teams. Where people understand. We should have teams. The president and the vice president should have the same perspective.
So you're not considering now that she's not a teammate of the president?
No, I'm not. I'm just simply saying that perhaps in the next round. In other words, dapat magkaintindihan para hindi naman lumalabas na nagkakaroon tayo ng conflict. Wala namang, ang akin lang sinasabi ko po rito, sana magkaisa tayo ng pananaw na ginagawa ng presidente is ipasantabi itong mga bagay na nakakasama sa bayan. Yun po ang perspective ng presidente.
All right, thank you, sir.
Salamat.
Okay, last 4 questions. Laila Salaveria to be followed by Raymond Tenasa, JP, and Tina.
Good morning, sir. Sir, the massive anti-drug operations in Bulacan were followed by similar operations in Manila and the Kamanava area. Sir, do you see these two operations in Metro Manila as a result of the President's endorsement of the Bulacan operation?
I believe, I don't think they're simply acting based on the President's endorsements. They really are taking, it just so happens that they're taking active steps in addressing the drug situation in the Philippines. So, first and foremost, you need to understand that police authorities follow protocols during the conduct of operations. Meron po sila sinusundan. And should there be any breach of protocol, this should be addressed, and the appropriate charges will be made, and those who are responsible will be made answerable to the law. So, ang ano po rito is, I don't think, balikan po natin, hindi po ito, kasi nadidinig lang nag-endorse, no? Ano po talagang kampanya ito ng PNP dahil alam nila yung dapat na ma-address sa bayan.
Sir, the massive operations came one after the other. Is this going to be the norm now? Can we expect this?
The norm is to address criminality. And this is simply a method, a particular way of doing things. But that's not the end game. The end game is to make sure that corruption is addressed, criminality goes down, and that the demand for drugs is also reduced, if not completely eradicated.
But sir, last na. Do you see nothing questionable or alarming that these operations have led to numerous deaths?
I think it's also quite alarming, the fact that what is also equally alarming is that when we did not face these things, that there was violence all over the land. I mean, old women being raped, babies being raped. I mean, I think it's just about time that those who are in government and those who are in a position to do something about it should be able to address these matters and end these matters forcefully.
Okay, Raymond Tinasa?
Sir, but Bulacan 32, Manila 25, then last night 16 sa Metro Manila.
Opo.
So were you surprised?
Ang
Or
alin
not,
po?
not at all?
Hindi po sasabihin, I don't think that's the question is whether I'm surprised or not. We're simply saying that we understand that and of course this will be addressed by the PNP themselves. No? But from our perspective, we are the police are taking their own steps in addressing that issue of making sure that the demand for illegal drugs be reduced.
So, last point.
Opo.
Was the president serious when he mentioned that the drug list, the updated one, will become death certificates soon?
I think the president really speaks rather forcefully, and but his seriousness, but definitely what we can be assured of is his intention to make sure that the nation is safe.
Thank you, sir.
Salamat
Okay.
po.
Last 4 questions. Rosalie Cos.
Hi, sir. Reaction lang po ng Malacanang sa mga nagsasabi na yung massive drug operations kung saan napakarami po ang napapaslang, diversionary tactic para po mailihis ang usapin sa kontrobersya po na kinakaharap ngayon ng BOC dun po sa 6.4 billion na shipment ng shabu.
I think that's being very cynical. You know, magkaiba po mga issue yon. Magkaiba mga issue yon. There are two separate issues, and I believe that's such a cynical way of looking at things.
Opo, sir, pero kahapon sinabi ng Pangulo na ang BOC is corrupt to the core and 3 times po nag-submit ng parang resignation letter si BOC Commissioner Faeldon. Pero ano ang concrete action? Umpisa pa lang ng panunungkulan ni Faeldon, hindi na niya talaga po naharap. Inamin niya na hindi niya kayang solusyonan yung mga katiwalian, pagpapalusot ng droga ng BOC. So, ano po ang concrete action ng pamahalaan regarding po dito? Lalo na po, sige po.
Well, so far as we can see, he has retained Faeldon. So I suppose that's part of his concrete action. I think we need to understand that the president operates from his main perspective is integrity, integrity, skill, and skill and other abilities. And while you can get people who are skilled, but if lacking integrity, then that will be dangerous. Skill can always be learned. The ability to know how to do it, and I believe that's where the president is coming from. Mr. Faeldon has been concerned naturally that he does not embarrass the president. The president is also quite aware, based on his words, that the man can be trusted. And for the president, that is paramount.
Okay, thank you. Joseph Morong.
So just staying on the drug operations topic,
Opo.
I'm sure you guys are aware of the 17-year-old that was supposedly killed by the police.
Yes.
What do you think? What does the president think first of that incident?
I cannot assume on what the what the president thinks, but what we can say with confidence is that those who are guilty of breaking the law or misuse or abuse will have to answer for that.
So are we instructing the PNP to
No,
investigate?
they don't need to be instructed. They have internal
Automatic.
mechanisms like EAS.
But definitely PNP should look into this. You think?
They automatically do that.
Okay.
They automatically do that.
Sir, yung statement that the streets are safe, given what had happened...
Safer.
Given what had happened to this 17-year-old student, minor, who's been killed allegedly by police operatives, do you think that statement that our streets are safer still hold true?
First and foremost, that statement was not manufactured by me. It is feedback of people, who is the general feedback of people. And that incident, happily, I think, is isolated.
Isolated.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Tina or Tricia?
Sir, just to follow up,
Yes,
aside from the evidence witnesses and CCTV footage said na parang showed that hindi nanlaban ang 17 years old, but the spot police report said na nanlaban siya. How do we, kasi sir, sabi ni President na he will defend the police. Whatever they say, he will believe them. How do we reconcile that, sir, when
He will defend the police in their carrying out of duties. However, he will also not tolerate any abuse and any breaches of the law. I think that's quite clear. He has said that before.
Okay, sige sir, thank you.
Okay, JP?
Sir, good morning.
Yes.
On 3 points po sana. Sir, una, yung doon sa SEA Games. Sir, saan natin
Sa alin, sa?
Sa SEA Games po.
SEA Games.
Sir, saan natin kukunin yung budget since the palace had earlier said na yung 19 billion sanang allocated for that, hindi na natin gagamitin?
Well, if I may quote, freely quote, DBM Secretary, it will not be an unfunded project. You know, I don't know how he's gonna do it, but I believe that if we approved it, we're assuming that there will be funds for that.
So, gobyerno, sir, yung magfa-fund dun sa SEA Games or private sector?
Like I said, hindi ko po alam.
Okay, sir. Then, sir, the President recently met with former SND Gibo Chodoro. May details po ba tayo, sir?
Regarding that, it was a close-in meeting. Everybody was sent out.
Okay. Sir, last na lang po kay General Padilla. Sir, can we confirm reports on the presence of Chinese Navy Coast Guard from August 14 to 15 as claimed by Magdalo Representative Gary Alejano?
Yes, we did receive word from the camp of Congressman Alejano regarding the presence of Chinese ships in the area. There have been a lot of fishermen from our side who have been fishing in our waters over there. And I think the bone of contention was regarding the presence of some of our fishermen in some of those areas. Kaya nandun din yung mga Chinese. Now, this is a matter now being addressed. I cannot confirm how many ships were there because I have not seen the report yet. But we will work to clarify all of these things. And there is a mechanism that is built in our current relationship, which is called the bilateral consultative mechanism that has already been initiated before. So it would be best to ask the Department of Foreign Affairs kung ano na nangyari dito sa mechanism na to kasi doon dapat natin idadaan lahat yon.
Pero sir, anong implication nito? Immediate implication ng presence of the 5 Chinese ships that were spotted?
Yung ating sightings at saka yung report na tinatanong nyo kung confirm ba ito, tulad ng sabi ko, we have sent word to the Western Command to check this out and to ensure that our fishermen, kung nandun pa sila, are well and protected. Now, we will file our ongoing and continuing protest for any of these movements, and the Foreign Affairs Department will see to that.
Follow-up lang, mag-file tayo ng note verbal?
No, we file diplomatic protest whenever we have sightings close to our areas.
Okay, final?
Especially this one.
Final question, Tina Mendez.
Sir, going back to the meeting between RAM leaders and President Duterte,
Yes, ma'am.
any commitment from the President to give amnesty to the RAM leaders?
I believe he viewed it with positively. I don't know the exact action that he will take, but the fact that he met with them shows that he is quite open to their requests.
To General Padilla, what's the stand of the AFP on this? Can you please refresh our memories kung ilan yung na-pardon and how many are involved?
Hindi ko na po kabisado lahat ng mga statistics kasi matagal na po yung sa issue ng RAM. Ang hinahabol lang ho yata dito ng mga ilan na hindi nabigyan ng amnesty at na pardon ay yung kanilang mga gratuities, yung kanilang mga benefits. So, being of advanced age, of course, many of them will have requirements for health and support for their medicines. So, besides the offer of assistance to the government that they can still contribute, yun din po yung pakayata para makuha po yung mga benefits na to. But exact numbers, I don't have that. I'm sorry right now. I will have to come back to you and find out.
Okay, thank you, Brigadier General Restituto Padilla. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and PTV.